Finding Yourself podcast, birthday episode, take one. Hello. It has been a long time coming. I have been wanting to film with you guys, and welcome back to Finding Yourself podcast. Channel. Welcome back to Finding Yourself podcast. I'm Abby. I'm your host. Sit back, relax. It is the birthday week episode. So today that you're watching this, it's currently Wednesday. I'm gonna try to sit in the middle here and sit back, relax, and let's chit chat. Honestly, I just want to talk because I miss you guys so much. So much has been happening that you guys have probably seen on my YouTube channel, that you guys have probably seen me move. I moved out of my roommate's place. A bunch of things happened with that. I have a free couch right here. I have so many blessings, honestly, that God has done in this year. And I honestly don't know where to begin because the last podcast that you guys had me in, I was in a really bad place mentally, and I kind of just want to sit down and talk to you guys. So this is going to be a catch up with me 6-month living in LA update. This is going to be reflecting 28 episode because this is my last Wednesday being 28. So stay tuned for a long episode. So we have a lot to catch up on. So grab your popcorn, clean your room, do whatever you want. Put me wherever you want. Put me in your car, wherever you want to put me. Put me there, girl, guy, because it is going to be a long freaking episode. So sit down, relax, and let's chit chat. Okay. So I'm going to update you. Okay. So we have a lot to cover, right? So where the heck were you? Okay. So I was moving into my studio here. If you guys don't watch me on YouTube, what are you doing? Go subscribe, watch me, watch the videos on there. They're lit. They're great. Watch it. Okay. That's the first thing. Second thing is I was moving. So I moved from my roommate's place to my now studio that I've been here for about 2 months now, and it has been a whirlwind of change. I have learned so much growing up. I have literally I did so much grown-up stuff that you can't even imagine, a lot. So I've grown up in the past 2 months a lot. I have learned to be alone. I've been homesick. I miss home. The next thing that I was figuring out is finding a job. So finding a job for me was pretty much the craziest, most hectic thing that I have ever done. We're getting straight into this episode because we have no time or content to waste. So basically, when I first moved here, I had a job offer, and basically what happened is 2 days before I started the job, they told me that they found someone else. So it was a really rough time. And financially, you may ask, Abby, how did you survive? And when I tell you God provided, he provided. So that's a whole nother episode or things if you guys want to know how that journey has been. But that's been my 6 months. And then I was supposed to get another job where I was supposed to work for this company, and they were going to hire me. But what ended up happening is I wasn't what they were looking for, if that made sense. So it didn't work out. And so I was jobless again, and then looking for more jobs, looking for things. And then I was dealing with everything at home, which was rough. So that was making the job process really hard. And I was networking and trying to do that. And then I started focusing on my business for a bit. And then when I was focusing on my business, I realized that I needed like steady income, you know, because girls got to pay the bills. So now I have a full-time job and I start October 2nd and I'm so excited. I can't believe I have a full-time job now and I am excited. And honestly, like this is a type of job where it's more of like paying the bills type of job. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And if you want to ask questions, DM me, but it's just a great job, honestly. And I'm excited to start. So I'll probably talk about it on TikTok and stuff. So, or I might not. I don't know. In my head, these next 6 months, I'm just going to work and like put my head down and just stay focused on what God wants me to focus on. But yeah, so I have a job and now I have stability and I'm so excited because I am living on my own and I have a job and everything in my life is finally coming together here in sunny LA. And it is just so crazy to think that this time last year, so now we're going to get into the meaty part of the episode, which is navigating 28, right? This time last year, I took a trip to come to LA to find out whether or not LA was my home or not. Because you guys know in previous episodes, my whole move here, I moved here by faith and everything. And I remember this time last year, I was talking to my friend Leo and we were talking about, you know, will help me move in, will help me find a job, will help me do this and that. And here I am a year later. And I remember making a video literally saying, Abby, you're going to be in LA. You're going to be in LA. You don't know how, you don't know when, but you're going to be in LA. And I said in January, but it turned into April, which is so insane. So that was the start of 28. So I remember on Instagram, I posted and I said, when I turn 28, you're going to dream big. You're going to make your dreams come true. Everything's going to come to pass. And it's just so crazy. And then October hit and I started working towards my dreams to move here to LA. I don't know why I'm crying. I'm not even like there yet, but you know, fine. Let's do it. Let's cry because we're navigating 28. October, November, December, I was making like portfolios, reels, etc., resumes and everything. January, holidays, obviously December. January, I was figuring out life, you know, finding out apartments. February, I took a trip for a week and I wrote down 10 things that I was believing God for to do when I came to LA for that trip. And those 10 things happened. Money was put in my bank account. I found my apartment. I found a job back then. I found everything out and then I moved to LA. Then March happened. I made the biggest decision of my life and I quit a job that I was working for 4 years of my life in, where I grew up in my career. I grew up in my purpose. I grew up actually in that job. I learned how to write an email in that job and I'm just so grateful for the ministry and for my career and everything I learned there and for all my bosses and for everything. Like, they're so amazing. Honestly, I learned so much from them. I learned so much from the work environment, you know, but it was like that call from God to be like, end your 4 years here. So my biggest thing is that I really wanted to leave on a good note. So I left and then I got the apostle's blessing. And then here comes a car trip to LA. And I remember packing my bags and my aunt telling me, she's like, don't leave your baggage here. Like, leave your baggage here in Miami. I don't know, I'm crying. And I was just navigating a lot of fears and a lot of things where I didn't even know that I had my feelings. And here goes. I navigated to LA. We went from Florida to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, going through Texas. Then from Texas, we went to, I think it was like Albuquerque, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, and then to LA. Well, Arizona, Nevada, LA. So we went to 9 states in 5 days, which is so crazy. If I get the number wrong, I'm sorry. We slept in the car for 2 days. We went to hotels other days. I fit everything that I could in my car. I said goodbye to my family, to my friends, not knowing what the heck would happen in my life. And then I moved to LA. And then April 1st, your girl is 28 in LA, 1 year fresh from her breakup in LA. And I just remember it was just really crazy because I also navigated a year into my breakup, and obviously, like, I feel like when I was actually going through my breakup, I was like saying I was healing and going through all that stuff, but it's not until you're alone in your apartment, in your room, and you're crying that you realize that you just need to be with God, right? So April, I was navigating my 1 year breakup, and I just really wanted to be out of Miami from then. I just didn't want to be in the same place. I didn't want to see the same things and everything. And then moving forward, I was like embarking in this new era, like going on hikes and meeting people and saying yes, and going to concerts and meeting people and going to church and seeing things that are new. And then April, May, June, dealing with job problems, dealing with home problems, dealing with like a bunch of things. And then I just had to grow up. I had to move forward. Bills kept coming, things kept going, adulting kept punching me in the face. And then July, I couldn't take it anymore, and I took a trip back home. Well, I took a trip in May back home into Miami, and I took a trip in July back to Miami. And I realized I went to Miami because I was running away from my problems. Because in Miami is where I can be a kid, is where I don't have to adult, is where I don't have to worry, I don't have to do all that stuff, and I can just like go home and be there, right? And I realized coming back after July, which was really great because I got to enjoy my summer. I haven't had a summer in 4 years, so I think me being able to get to enjoy it was fine. And also, shout out if you like my makeup, I did it. You can find the Get Ready With Me coming out soon, where I talk about a lot about pop culture. Bro, I'm getting like really comfortable. It's kind of scary. I hope I'm not like sinking down, but whatever. So yeah, so then we're there, and July hits. August, when I come back, I move out of my roommate situation. Everything gets settled there, and honestly, the problems aren't even problems anymore because I'm just grateful for where I am now. And then now, August was the whole month of me settling in, moving in, and I was like, okay, God, I need a job. Like, hey, God. Hello, God. It's me again. Hey, it's your daughter. Remember me? September is when I was like, I'm going to do the September surge. I'm going to apply to all these jobs. I'm going to do everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lower my pride and start applying. And I applied to many jobs, producing jobs, editing jobs, everything jobs, nothing. And then I got this one job where I had a lot of grace and favor in, which is crazy because my pastor was preaching about grace and favor one day. And then literally I had some friends come to Miami. If you guys saw, I mean, not Miami, sorry. I had friends from Miami come visit me. And if you want to see his vlog, you can check it out, Isaac. Isaac's vlog and David, I'll put all of their stuff there. The boys visited me, and Peter, Nathan, JD, and I took them around I took them around LA, got them in and out, etc. You can see that on his vlog, on Isaac's vlog. And so yeah, I took them out, and then I just remember doing some things that I don't like. I mean, I could share it, but I basically gave some of my things away to some friends of mine. So I gave like 3 specific things, and I felt from God to give it to them. And it was just so crazy because I remember when we prayed at the end, they prayed over me over specific things, like over my business, over my personal life, and over, you know, baggage, things that I was carrying. And I was like, okay, God, you know, I'm letting go of a lot of things, right? And then the craziest part is the next day after I blessed them with these things, right? I went in for my job interview and they hired me on the spot. Like, when I tell you guys, grace and favor was over me literally after Pastor preached about grace and favor. It was literally over me, and I felt God's favor over me and his grace over me. And I was like, wow, God, you are so faithful. And now I start my job October 3rd, and I'm just so excited because I'm going to have income coming in, and I'm going to have stability, and I can work on my workout routine, and I can have like specific times, like when I get my schedule to go to places to work out and then go back. Because if you know me at all, I am a type A person and I run on schedules. Like, I am a big schedule girly. I need consistency. And something that I really like is that for my job, that they say that they're like, and the good thing is that I have Sundays off, which is really good. So in my job where I'm working, they're like, you're going to for sure have Sundays off. And once you have your schedule, that's set. That's it. It is what it is. And it's great. So I'm just excited because I'm going to be able to work. I'm going to be able to meet people, network. And once I get my schedule, I can like focus on live films, you know, doing that on the side and building my business here in LA. And people can get to know me and get to know me as a photographer, get to know me as a podcaster, get to know me as a YouTuber and a faith-based content creator, which is, hi, I'm Abby. I'm a faith-based content creator. I don't know. I was just so excited to just be able to talk to you guys, because I feel like God is doing so much, you know. So that was basically me navigating my 28s. If I can say some things that I learned in 28 is, number 1, open up your heart for new friendships, because like it's okay to start new. You know, it's okay to start and let people in again and grow. Number 2, the next thing that I learned is the second thing that I learned is I basically hid a lot of my emotions under a rug. Metaphorically speaking, and regularly speaking, I felt like I left everything, you know, under a rug. My feelings of my past relationship, my feelings of leaving a ministry that I was serving in for like 15, 16 years. You know, it really takes a toll on you, like going here and starting new. I remember my friend David, shout out to David, we were just talking on the phone, and he told me, he was like, Abby, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you left everything you know to start brand new. And I started crying because like I went to their Gen Z event, and basically it's just so crazy to see how much you've grown in these past few years and these past moments, to really be like, hey, like you've grown in the ministry, you've grown in the spirit, you've grown in your life, and this is where you are now. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to God, because I feel like I went through a lot, you know, and I didn't know I was going through a lot, but something that God told me and spoke to me about, and he's like, you're not going to work until you deal with your personal life, until you deal with all the hidden things that you were hiding under there. Because I just remember I was working and I wasn't paying attention to my personal life because there were so many things going on that I couldn't pay attention to my personal life. And then when I realized it, I was alone and I was moved, and I had to stop, drop, and be with God. And the third or fourth thing that I realized in my 28s is completely and utterly I learned how to completely and utterly trust in God. And I'm crying because it was so hard to move here. It was so hard to leave everything to start this new life, which I was like, oh, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna move and I'm gonna start this new life. Yeah, but this new life comes with tears. This new life comes with trials. This new life comes with getting COVID and having to be quarantined a week before your birthday. This new life comes with learning how to navigate adulthood on your own. This journey has to come with dealing with people and seeing people's true colors. Like, I learned how to 100% trust in God. When I didn't have money in my bank account, God put money in my bank account. I have a list of blessings that I'm going to read to you at the end of the year. But just reading the blessings that God has done for me, by my aunt coming to LA to buy me groceries when I couldn't buy groceries, for a friend of mine sending me $100 when I didn't have food to eat, for money to appear in my bank account when I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. Like, God showed up for me, and he gave me the best 6 months of my life. And like, I feel like I was like a nomad, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything because I felt like, I was like, oh man, my type A self, right? I was like, man, all I'm doing is uploading on YouTube. All I'm doing is editing podcasts. All I'm doing is posting on social media and everything, but I'm not doing anything. I'm waking up at 10, 11 every day. I don't have a job, or what people seem to say normal. And I just remember God being like, you are sitting and standing in the prayer that you've been asking me. And I just remember being like, wow, God, I'm literally sitting in the answered prayer that you told me to do. Like, I remember looking on TikTok. I remember last year I was looking at TikToks and I was like, oh my God, to be out in the world, to just be able to travel whenever I wanted to be able to drive and hike wherever I wanted to. And for these past 6 months, I've got to go on so many hikes. I've got to go out for coffees. I've got to go to a coffee shop and edit. I've gotten to be in my house if I wanted to. I've gotten the chance to travel to OC, go to San Francisco. I've gotten the chance to, travel for photography. Like, it's just so crazy, and sometimes we feel like, another thing I learned is that sometimes we see success through other people, and like, everyone has their certain level of success, but basically your level of success is like how you see yourself with God, if that makes sense. So another thing that I noticed is that what I learned is take the narrow path. It says in the Word, there's a Bible verse about taking the narrow path, that like many of us take the wide path, but many of us should take but a few of us will take the narrow path. And I feel like in my spirit, I was taking a narrow path, that I was literally on my own, doing things on my own, being a pioneer, like coming out here, creating something for myself. And now that I can actually tell you guys and say like, hey, I literally am having a birthday party with like 12 or 13 people coming. And these are people that I met this year, and they want to celebrate me, and they call me friend. And it's just so crazy. Like, I am so grateful. Like, I am so grateful for every single person I've met. I'm thankful for every heartfelt conversations that I've had. I'm thankful for everything that I've got to endure, for the people that have my back, the people that prayed for me, the people that prophesied over my life. This is my last moments as a 28-year-old. And I am just so grateful. I wouldn't believe if I was your 28, 29-year-old living here in LA and pursuing what God says. And I remember moving here, and everyone would be like, what's your purpose for moving here? I was like, for a job. I didn't have a job for 6 months. And God showed me what my purpose was. And he showed me it was to be a light here, to be able to bring people closer to Jesus, to be able to minister and to show like who God is in my life, and for me to really pick up the pieces of my brokenness. And I think it's so beautiful because God helped me pick up the broken pieces. You know, he helped me find myself again. And I think it's so beautiful because this is literally what this podcast is about. It's literally like I made this podcast to find myself again. And I feel like I'm finally finding who she is again. And obviously, like, we're still growing and we're still finding our identity. We're still growing in who we are as people, as Christians, as women of God, as people. But I feel like during this journey, I just found myself again. I found like what true joy is. I found how to 100% trust in God. I learned what it's like to start brand new. I learned what it's like to get betrayed in LA, because you get betrayed everywhere. I learned what it's like to do ministry again. You know, I found out a lot about myself, that I'm not just this person. I'm not just tied to this one thing, that I'm called for more. I learned to not look at other people and to not look at what everyone is trying to do with their life, and for me to try to see what I want to do with my life. And yeah, so that is me navigating 28. I have navigated growing up. I have navigated social media. I'm currently here at my house, quarantined a week before my birthday, and this video is coming out the next Wednesday, but this is the Wednesday before that for me recording it. And I have learned, so my mom called me, right? My mom called me yesterday, and she was talking to me about what a preacher was preaching about. It's a funny preacher preaching about, and she was saying that Rosh Hashanah is on your birthday. And my birthday is September 22nd. So if you guys don't know, well, you guys don't know it because I really haven't shared it with you. But ever since last year, God has spoken to me about the number 922. And I had no idea what it was about. I promise you, I literally wrote on my iPad. I was like, 922 is probably Matthew 922, is probably Isaiah 922. I was just looking up all the Bible verses with 922 in them and reading them, and nothing stuck out to me. But something that my mom said is that Rosh Hashanah is a new year in the Jewish. And basically what it means is that and this is my mom's words, so it's a day where God is gonna open doors in your life, like open portals, open doors in your life. I feel like everything happens for a purpose, right? Because 922 is the first day of fall. And every year, my birthday is in a new season. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And I'm just so proud of myself because I made it to September. Because I literally made it. I don't know how. I don't know how God did it, but I literally made it to September. And I feel like I'm about to enter in some of the happiest moments of my life. And this year has been one of the joyous, like the most joyous, most hardest. No, I wouldn't say hard, because there's different types of hard. I feel like every single year we're like, oh, this year's gonna be great. And then the next year we're like, that year was so hard. And did I go through hardships? Yeah, I did. But I can honestly say that this was one of the best years of my life. At 28, I remember talking to a friend and I was telling them, you know what my word of the year is for 28? And they were like, what? And I go, transition. I feel like 28 was a year of transition. I had no stability. I had no idea what my next 6 months looked like. I have no idea how my bank account would survive the next day. I have no idea how to do that. And I'm sitting in a blessing. I got this couch for free. I got my bed frame for free. Literally everything in my house, I haven't paid for. And if I did, it's like very minimal. And I am just so grateful. I really just want to go into 28 and just say thank you. Just to say thank you to God, you know? Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to even reflect on 28. Yeah, thank you for letting me heal, but like genuinely heal. Thank you for letting me enjoy my singleness. God, I feel the presence of God. Thank you for loving me unconditionally. Thank you that I was able to find myself again this year. I'm just so grateful to God. I don't even know I'm crying. I just know that this year was such a God year. And that God really came through for me. I let his dreams be my dreams. And he really, really let me do them. God, I'm sorry. It's just I feel God so much and I don't know what to say. I've been reflecting in this past week, and I've been reading and watching my old videos, and there was a video that really impacted me, and it was my Dear Younger Me video. So this is gonna be a letter to my future self. Well, I like to ask people in a podcast this, but I'm gonna ask myself this. What would you tell your younger self? Oh God. Okay. Here it goes. Okay. And I'm doing this very spontaneously. Like, this is just a video where I upload and I pick up the camera and here we go. Okay. So, hi, younger Abby. To Abby, the one that didn't know how this year was gonna go, happy birthday. Last year was really tough for you. I know that you went through a really bad breakup, and your heart, you didn't know where you were gonna be in the next 6 months. But I'm here to tell you, Romans 8:28, everything works together for the goodness of God. And I am so proud of you because you had the guts. You had the guts to step out of your comfort zone and move to a place on your own. And you're gonna go through trials. You're gonna learn lessons. You're gonna do things, but you're gonna come out stronger. You're gonna go to concerts. You're gonna see people making out in front of you. You're gonna be like, you're not in King Jesus ministry anymore. But you're still gonna remain pure. And you're still gonna remain for God. And your hunger for God is gonna get deeper this year, because you're going to be so in love with God, and you're going to fall in love with the process and the journey, and you're going to fall so in love with God that nothing else is going to matter. And this is a season with you and God. So let God romance you. Let God take you out on dates. Let God hold your hand when you're dealing with nervousness and anxiety and not knowing what's next, because God knows what's next. And you're going to enter into 29, queen. You're going to enter into this year joyful. You're going to enter into this year in a new season. You don't know what the next year has for you, but what you do know is that you're going to remain focused. You're going to remain focused on what God is saying. And now that you have structure and now that you have stability, you're going to be able to grow into the woman of God that God has for you. You've grown so much in this year, don't get me wrong, but just wait on God. Wait till next year, boo. And you're going to go to Jesus culture, Jesus image. You're going to go to spend 5 minutes in upper room. You're going to find a small church that you love so much, at the people that you love so much. You're going to grow. And you're going to wait and see what God's going to do next year. So that's my letter to my younger self. And I don't know, I'm just going to say it here. I am just going to speak from my heart. Okay, we're doing the dang thing. We're speaking from our heart, right? So, hello, future Abby. This is me on September 18th, 2023. You are single as a Pringle right now, but watch this time next year. You're gonna have your mans. You're gonna have your house. You're gonna have your Range Rover. You're gonna be debt free, and you are gonna be thriving with hopefully your dog, because I know you really want a dog. You're gonna have your Italian girl summer. You are going to be financially free, and you're gonna be doing everything that you love with the one that you love. And you're just gonna be happy. Truly, genuinely. Because you took this step. I'm so excited to see what God's gonna do with you next year. Just know that this younger version of yourself stayed focused, stayed in her lane. I didn't look left or right. I just looked straight. And know where you're going is somewhere so beautiful. Imagine this is what God is doing in 6 months. Imagine what God can do in a year. I'm not limiting God. Because I know what God has for you, something so beautiful. So get ready, girl, because 30 you'll be hot. Yeah. You're going to love 30. You're going to love 30. You are going to jump into your 30s in Hawaii. And this year, you are going to enjoy your Italian girl summer and go to Catalina Island and feel like you're in Italy and just start declaring and prophesying things over yourself and speaking to your future, because you are going to do that. Just wait and see. So that is me navigating my 28. That is me talking to you guys about my 6-month life update. I told you about my life updates. I told you about my job. I told you about things that I wanted to tell you guys about. And yeah, so I'm so excited for your birthday, girl. So thank you guys so much for joining Finding Yourself podcast. I just wanted to have a very heartfelt conversation with you guys. I wanted to just talk to you guys about what God has been talking to me about and expectations for 29. Ooh, that is a good one. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm expecting for me to have a house. Man, I'm just kidding. No. I'm expecting for 29 for even more stability, I'm expecting, honestly, joy. I'm expecting for joy, more creativity, and for all the fruit to come to pass. Meaning, everything that you're sowing into this season, you're gonna reap it in the next. So I feel like I was in such a big transition that now that I have stability, I'm gonna be in that go season, you know, because there's this thing called a waiting season, and there's a thing called this go season. So I'm so excited to be in the go season finally, because I've been in this waiting season for 6 months, and I feel like Esther in the Bible, where, you know, like the virgins, they had to get washed and wait on God and wait. And I was like, okay, God, I'm done waiting. And I just waited on him, and now I'm finally entering my go era and my go season. So I'm excited to go, and I'm excited to just honestly, my goals for 29 is I'm just going to keep my head down. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Just stay focused on what God is doing. Post on YouTube, post on Instagram, get stuff out there, work on my businesses, and just grind, girly. You are entering into this new season, into this new era, and you're entering into 29. I just feel like that God is opening up new portals and new doors for us in this season. So just be wary of what God is doing in this new season, because this is a new season for you and me. Between you and me, this is a new season, and I'm excited because I know God is guiding, and it's going to be a great year. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this podcast, give it 5 stars on all Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on any digital streaming aspect that you guys are listening to this. Make sure to listen on Spotify, because honestly, that's where Spotify pays. If you guys want to listen to it on there, please listen to it. Get me the views, please. I love you. Rate the podcast. Give it 5 stars on the pod. If you want to give me a birthday gift, that would be the best birthday gift. And another birthday gift, if you want to give me, is a big thumbs up. Like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. It'll be linked down below. Follow me at findingyourself_podcast on Instagram, Abster7 on IG, life_films for for photography, anything business in the LA area. I'm open up to traveling, but let me know, girl, because my schedule be scheduling. And Purity Movement for any merch launch that you guys may see, hopefully in the future. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. And that is it for the podcast. If you guys like solo episodes, please let me know if you like solo episodes, what topics you guys want me to talk about. If you just want me to pick up the mic and just start talking or crying, honestly, I'm down. I feel like podcasting is low-key therapy for me. So it's just so great to be able to talk. Okay. Anywho, I love you guys. We reached 50 minutes. I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. God bless you. Wish me happy birthday. Peace.